I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham.
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to, it's not a podcast, Rick. What we're going to call this? Vodcast? Well, I don't even know what they call these things.
Well, we're going to call it the experimental cast is what we're going to call it.
All right. That's
it's our first. It's our first time to do this, and so we're experimenting, and we have a topic to discuss that's legit. So
yes,
let's let her rip, man. What's going on, Bill?
All right. Well, not much. How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. Bunch of family in from Chicago, and in fact, they're still here. We're going out tonight, and it's fun.
All right. I am representing, of course, Batman '89 today, and I believe you're representing Lego Batman. Is that correct, sir?
That's right.
All
Lego
right.
Batman.
All right. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Justice League Weekend 2, which also includes the Thanksgiving weekend, a 5-day Thanksgiving weekend box office. The projections are out, and some folks are trying to spin it as everything is super awesome, but everything is not really super awesome. Rick, is that am I right about that?
Unfortunately, you are correct.
Okay, so basically, the projection now is during the 5-day Thanksgiving run, Justice League will take in a little less than $60 million domestic. I think 59.9 is the current projection. And the 3-day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday box office is going to be a tick less, right now projected, than 40 million. And it will it's not going to win the box office either. That will be Coco. So,
Coco.
Yeah.
And also, just to clear this up, so the original expectation that was going around last week, I mean, I tweeted it, John Campea tweeted it, there were a lot of people that were hoping for this, and we were being optimistic, is that the projections for the 60 million was actually over the 3-day weekend, not the 5-day projection, which now we know that it's over the 5-day, and in fact, that's probably not even going to hit that. Yeah. So in other words, as far as the numbers for this movie go, unfortunately, it's getting worse and worse. The news is not good. It's very grim.
And let's be clear here. We're not pulling for this film to fail. It's
no
for
this bums me out, man.
Yeah,
okay, it genuinely does. Now, the only silver lining to this for me, as I'll say, is that this sucks. It's embarrassing that a Batman and Superman movie are doing this bad. Okay.
And Wonder Woman, when you throw in that film last June.
Absolutely, but she's safe.
Yes.
Meaning Gal Gadot, she's getting her sequel no matter what. Yeah. Affleck is done. He's done. My guess is that Matt Reeves is going to reboot his Batman altogether. I might be wrong about that, but something tells me that's exactly what he's going to do. That might be what needs to be done. But here's the part that scares me, and this is the part why. And so just to come full circle, when I say the silver lining is that out of all of this, maybe it'll give Matt Reeves an opportunity to breathe and just really create his vision that he wants to create. And then we'll all benefit from that as fans. That's awesome. It's unfortunate that it had to blow up like this for us to perhaps get there. And the real casualty here for me is Henry Cavill. Okay, because I don't think we're going to see him as Superman again. And let me just say this. Nothing he's been in has worked in terms of expectations from studio, in terms of mainstream audience reaction, and quite frankly, not even from critics. Man of Steel was not that critically well received. It underperformed at the box office. It's unfortunate because it's a borderline masterpiece. But I love Man of Steel. I'm a Man of Steel apologist, if you want to call me that. So I do as well, but it didn't work. Yes. BVS didn't work. I don't care that it did 800,000. Critics hated it, and that thing should have been well north of $1 billion. It didn't work. There was a lot of course correction that led us to this weird Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon Justice League, this hybrid.
Yeah.
And so what I'm afraid of is even if you bring in the right writers, the right filmmakers, everything, and you still put Henry Cavill as Superman in a commercial, and most people that will go see these films aren't guys like you and I, man. And 85%, 90% are people like our wives, or just my buddies that just go see these films because they're cool. They don't read comics. They don't follow any of this drama.
Yes. They
tune this stuff out, man. I've had so many friends, and this isn't just anecdotal, because anecdotal is when you don't have any sort of real proof. I'm saying that I'm talking to people, and I'm juxtaposing that with box office numbers of Justice League. I'm asking my friends, why aren't you guys going to see this movie? They're like, man, I got burned on BVS. I don't care to see Affleck as Batman again. I don't care to see that Superman again. I mean, he like died, and that movie was weird, and that's where this is. And so even if you put Cavill in a film that with the right filmmakers, are people going to see him in a commercial and say, yeah, let's go see that? Or are they just going to tune it out? And I'm afraid the latter is probably accurate. So that's the casualty for me is Cavill.
Well, that's the point, Rick, you bring up, is that as a fan, you're only focused on your little bubble, your little world, your little tribe, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And yes, we keep up with all the stuff that's going on. We follow these films from announcement through pre-production, through filming, through post-production, and the marketing, and we all go see it. I don't think the Justice League was even on many people's radar. And we're not talking about us. We're talking about, you know, like you mentioned, your Facebook friends, your non-comic book, the layman, you know, for lack of a better word.
The people that make these films work at the box office or not. The fans will always be
there. You go. And it just, you know, and it's coming off BVS, which didn't resonate with people. Wonder Woman did, and I think you and I both now are saying that's just a damn anomaly. They got lucky. I mean, they did. The movie was good, but people turned out. The word of mouth was good. It had great legs. It got reviewed well, and made it. There's no secret sauce there, is there?
No,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, but despite everything that was sort of contentious about the universe that she came from,
yes,
she prevailed. Okay.
And why basically? Because the film was what?
Because the film was good.
Yeah.
It was a good film.
Yes.
And Patty was for the most part allowed to really showcase her vision for this character in this film. There was obviously influences from Snyder, particularly in the third act, and I know studios get involved, especially with a director that hasn't been proven yet. But there was enough of her in that film that made this work, and I guarantee you, Wonder Woman 2 is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be. It's going to be awesome. Yeah,
I'm with you.
You know.
All right, real quick, your take. We got Aquaman coming, right?
Right.
I mean, that's coming.
Right.
And I think you and I are both under the agreement that, look, it's going to be its own thing. And if there was anything that mentioned Justice League, that's going to be edited out.
Probably.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
I would be surprised if there's anything about Justice League in there. I highly doubt it.
Why?
And I'll say this too. If the box office, if Warner Brothers knew that Justice League was going to have a $93 million opening and then do $16 million on it was $16 million yesterday, right? Roughly.
Yes.
So it did basically $16 million on its second Friday. That's a Good Friday. That's horrendous. If they would have known that, Aquaman never would have been greenlit.
I probably agree with that.
Because, they never would have filmed it. Now they already have it in the bag, so it's coming. But I get this question quite a bit. There's people like, well, what happens? You know, you're talking about course correction and some reboots and what have you, but what happens if Aquaman works? And I'm like, well, to me, that solidifies that maybe these DC characters and certainly in live action cinema are better on their own. Because if Aquaman didn't work in Justice League, but he works on his own, then why would you go back to the formula? It doesn't work anyway. And then people well, what are they going to do with him if it works? I'm like,
you make a damn sequel.
Make an Aquaman sequel.
You make an Aquaman sequel.
Done and done. That's it.
If Wonder Woman 2 works.
Make it, Wonder Woman 2 works.
Yeah, you make another Wonder Woman film. I mean, it's like I said, there's no secret sauce here. You got to eliminate this mentality, Rick, not you, but just I'm talking to you in general, and the mentality of we're trying to get to somewhere. We're building to a team-up film, Justice League 2, That's not happening right now.
No.
That's not happening. So yeah, the point is, yeah, well, what if Aquaman's awesome?
Great.
Well, you don't start bringing in flipping Batman to Atlantis and pull Wonder Woman out and have her join the ocean dwellers and
the reason you don't is because they've tried that and it didn't work.
Yes.
Okay. So if it works, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but if it works when he's by himself, you stick with the formula that works. It's that simple.
Two more things and we'll get the hell out of here. Flashpoint, flash film for all intents and purposes, also kind of could be a way to reboot and reset this whole thing. But here's the problem with that, Rick, is that it's basically a Justice League 2.
Right.
Right? And why would you bring these people back together again when you just had a film with all of them that failed? And let's be frank about it. This film failed. It failed critically. It failed amongst the mainstream audience.
I don't even think it's going to do 700 worldwide.
Yeah.
I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does, but I don't think it's going to.
And it obviously fell at the box office, yes. So why would you bring the gang back together again for basically another go of Justice League? I just don't see why you would do that. You want to make a Flash film, let's get rid of the Flashpoint thing and just make a Flash film. And if you can't make a Flash film without having some kind of gimmick like that, then you don't need to make a Flash film anyway.
Right.
You know. Okay.
No. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing on that too is that there's a lot of speculation right now amongst fans in terms of this universe continuity continuing on with Flashpoint, with Shazam, with maybe even Chris McKay's Nightwing. But the bottom line is this, guys. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes in boardrooms right now as we speak, and people are scrambling. And I guarantee you, there is nothing on or off the table right now. I think that I think that Wonder Woman 2 is obviously going to happen. Aquaman's in the bag. They're surely going to let Matt Reeves do his Batman because we're not going to not have Batman movies.
Yeah.
In fact, he probably has more leverage right now today than he did 2 weeks ago in terms of his vision. Okay. So, but in terms of all this Flashpoint and Shazam, do not get emotionally invested. This is just my personal advice. Don't get emotionally invested in this continuity of this universe. My educated guess is that Shazam is going to have nothing to do with this continuity. And in fact, that film should not. I want that thing to be a live action Incredibles. I want it to be just fun, goofy, just unapologetically.
Yeah, do Mr. Mind, do Talkie Tawny, the whole thing. It's the superhero version
Blow
of
it
Big.
up.
Yeah.
Right.
And be crazy and make it awesome.
And have it PG.
Yes, PG, absolutely.
And just make it one hell of a fun ride. And that's exactly what that film needs to be anyway. So even if this DCU was working, I still would be a proponent for keep Shazam out.
Yes.
And I know that people are referencing, one director said this, or Matt Reeves has already confirmed that. Guys, nothing's confirmed. Okay. We all have learned our lesson, I hope, by now in terms of how PR works in this business. I mean, you went from Ben Affleck directing and starring in the Batman, and he's not going to do either at this point. So he said he was doing both, and then even when one went away, he said he was doing the other. So don't get wrapped up in all that. In fact, to the contrary, I could point to Chris McKay. I had a little tweet exchange with him the other day, in fact, and he was talking about how his Nightwing is going to be its own. I don't want to I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically saying this is going to be like a universe you've never seen, or Gotham you've never seen. These characters interpreted in a way you've never seen them, something along those lines. And I'm looking at that saying I could just as easily point to that tweet and say he's confirming that this is not part of this continuity.
Maybe. And a great segue. Let's talk about, we'll finish up here. Let's talk about the biggest, is it even the biggest elephant in the room anymore? I don't know. Ben Affleck's future as Batman.
He's done.
Yeah. I'm at the point now, and I wrote an op-ed yesterday, that I'm at the point I'm move on. Move on. And this comes from someone who was one of his biggest supporters for years. I mean, I'm going back to 98, 99 when there was talk of doing a year one adaptation, and Affleck had got hot, and it may have been around the time of what was that Michael Bay film that came out? Pearl Harbor, and some other stuff as well. Okay. And he was young then, 20s, and I thought, this dude will make a good make a good Batman, back then. And then when he became the writer and director that he became, when I said, when Nolan's done this, and this is me kind of thinking at that time, maybe they just continue on. I want Ben Affleck to direct this Batman franchise.
Sure.
And so this false narrative or false belief that I and Batman on film and you are trying to run him out the door, or have been, let me change that, have been trying to run him out the door. That's complete. Right. That's false.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
That's complete bullshit. Here's the thing. So you have been a cheerleader for him longer than I have.
Yes.
Even with our mixed bag feelings on BVS, we both still walked away saying, my God, he was the shining star in that film. And
yes.
I can't wait to see more of him as the Batman. And as speculation grew, and as things that we had kind of heard from people that it was a possibility that he wouldn't return, we would report on that and talk about it and speculate about it. We never said definitively. We would say 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. We had a variety of different opinions in terms of what the probability was. But at the end of the day, we never said definitively, and we always ended it with, here's our caveat, though. We want him to stay, and we did. That has been true for me up until about 3 weeks ago. And now I'm done. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm tired of the drama. I'm also tired of I'll be honest. I'm tired of watching someone as talented as he is kind of he doesn't have his personal life together. He's got to get that right. And I want nothing but the best for him as a person. And you can see it in Justice League. When you look at the reshoots that Joss Whedon did versus the stuff that he did with Snyder, it's like it's almost a different person to me. He looks different. I think his performance is lazy. It's not like it's terrible because he's so talented. He can go on autopilot and it's fine. Mm-hmm. Come on, guys, let's face it. That's not what we deserve as Batman fans. Some of those scenes in Justice League with him, it's just not. Look, he needs to get his stuff together. So I'm just kind of over it. And I think more so than anything that I think, unfortunately, this franchise is toxic to critics and to mainstream audiences. And in order for this to have longevity, in order for us to have Batman on film, Batman in cinema for many years to come, we need to make drastic changes. And just like what I said earlier about Henry, I don't think that mainstream audiences are going to look up and see a preview for a Batman film with Affleck back in it and say, yeah, let's go see that. That looks good. They're going to tune it out. So let's move on. Let's move on.
Two films, which, let's be honest, he was the star of both BVS and Justice League.
His Batman was used in the marketing for Justice League more than anybody.
Top billing in both films.
Wonder Woman started to take a little bit of that lead, but still, at the end of the day, his Batman just did a $16 million Good Friday on its second weekend. It's
two Batman films. Let's exclude Suicide Squad, but two films. He starred in as Batman, he was the lead actor in both, and both of them were ravaged by critics. Both of them underperformed at the box office.
Right.
Both of them are lukewarm when it comes to the general audience, and frankly, both of them very divisive among the fan base. And so
right.
I'm at the point, I'm over it. Let's move on. Let's get a new Batman. I want to be excited about Batman on film again. I want Matt Reeves to have whatever leeway he wants and needs to give us that. And, hey, that's what I'm banging a drum for. You don't have to agree, but I tell you what, we care, and that's why we're here.
That's
Rick?
exactly why we're here. And look, if Jake Gyllenhaal's the guy, I am all for it. If that's not the case and it's somebody else, I'm going to trust Matt Reeves to cast the right person in this role. At the end of the day, man, it's just time to move on. And for me personally, if it was up to me, blow it up. I don't even want continuity with this Batman at all. I don't want to see that car as much as I love that car. Yeah. I don't want to see Jeremy Irons as Alfred as much as I love his Alfred. There's a lot of things about this universe that I love that I would have loved to see nurtured properly and really blossom into something. When I think of Ben Affleck's performance in BVS, I mean, that's a kick-ass Bruce Wayne Batman. Mm-hmm. Period. Kick-ass. And we didn't even get that in Justice League. Mm. So it's just going, you know what I'm saying? So it's already just, I'm just personally over it. And that sucks.
It does.
It sucks.
This is not something that we enjoy having discussed right now, guys. So,
and listen, I would still encourage people, go see Justice League. I still think it's a fun film. It's not great. It's not worthy of Superman or Batman. It's certainly not worthy of both of them. But it's a fun movie, and I'm going to go see it probably 1 or 2 more times. Go support it. Let's try to give it a little boost. But at the end of the day, this thing is, as far as what it's going to end up as, it's not going to justify a sequel.
All right, fair enough. All right,
700 million is my prediction. What's yours, Bill? Worldwide?
I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
Oof.
Yeah, exactly.
That's rough.
All right, plug something, Rick. We don't have announcer Rachel to take us out today.
Yeah. Just follow me on Twitter, Shew Rick, and really that's about it, guys. Go see Justice League. Go enjoy it, and let's just all hope for better days. And just remember, it's just my little work right here. When we're being critical of these characters, and I've said this in podcasts before, as cheesy as this sounds, Batman himself is one of my best friends in the whole world. This guy has been with me since I was a little kid. Okay, see him? I used to sleep with this guy. Comic books, the TV show, Scooby-Doo, Super Friends. I mean, and then into the 80s with Frank Miller, and then Tim Burton's original film, and then the Nolan trilogy. I dare you to you can find a more knowledgeable fan than I am, for sure. I mean, Ryan Haas is definitely one of them. But you're not going to find a more passionate Batman fan as me. And I am just at a point where I'm ready for one of my best friends here to be represented properly on film again. And let's give him – I want Matt Reeves' film to be better than The Dark Knight. I'm okay with a movie being better than The Dark Knight. I am.
Yeah, why not?
I would celebrate that. And right, so bring it. And then let's figure out what the hell we're going to do with Superman. Yes. Henry Cavill deserved better. So, but anyway, those are my closing statements, and let's just hope for better days. I think they're coming, man.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film. January 1st, 2018, BOF 2.0 will drop. I guess I'll put it that way. Or brand new website, basically. Brand new website. Sure. Old school Batman on Film will still be there. You can still get to it via links as archives, but brand new site we're all excited for. And that's it, Rick.
That's it. Hey, we'll say this. I want Justin to see my John Blake doll, though. So okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That is John Blake.
It's John Blake, and then The Last Jedi is coming out, so we're just going to, I've had these guys since, these guys are older than 90% of you guys watching this right now.
Oh,
they have been with me since the 70s, or at least 2 of them have.
I'm looking around trying to find something. I've got comic books
back here. Whatever.
Yes.
Books.
Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, you're going to show off. Look, I just got this.
What do you have there?
This is the Rebirth Batman action figure. Still in the box.
I still love that costume.
I like it, except for the purple inside of the cape. All right.
All right, man.
At Shew Rick for Rick on Twitter, at Batman on Film, and Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive,
and the dadgum original.
We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.